We all know that at the end of the day yesterday, the U.S. House voted to impeach President Trump, 2 articles of impeachment. I'm going to talk a little bit about that today in this first 5, about kind of fallout from just that. And I'm going to turn in the next segment and talk more about what that impeachment means long term for America. But to start with, I want to ask the very wonderful producer, Matt, if he could show you, this is a tweet that was put out by an Obama administration official back in 2016 during the time that President Trump was then running for president. So this is a tweet by David Plouffe, which obviously says, "It is not enough to simply beat Trump. He must be destroyed thoroughly. His kind must not rise again." That was a tweet from June of 2016 by an Obama administration, an Obama supporter, an Obama administration employee. So that is the mindset I want to plant in your understanding of where we are in impeachment today. What he wrote there was not just some hothead, off-the-cuff remark. This is precisely how the anti-American left, the left in this country, actually thinks about President Trump, or then candidate Trump, and how they think of him today and his supporters. The idea that a man came along, was not part of the political establishment, could not point to a long resume full of positions he had held in various administrations and the State Department and been elected to office. This was a total outsider, and the reason it bothered them, among many other things, was that what President Trump ran on, what he talked about in his rallies, was such a radical return to America, return of America to its roots. And it not just frightened, but it angered the anti-American left and many people in Washington who've been establishment, ruling class, elite types for a long time, to hear someone talk about what President Trump planned to do, how he was going to reassert America. And part of it was a broad message, specific to many policies we've talked about many times, but a bigger, broader message that America is worth preserving, identifying, strengthening, and honoring. The leftist world in this country, from academia to left-wing politicians, there has been a gradual chipping away at, a diminishing, there had been for decades, and it still is ongoing today, to what the idea of America is, to why America matters, to how unique America is. And the left had been largely successful in planting that seed, planting that thought in the minds of many Americans, especially younger Americans going through the school system now, going through college now, where they really ended up not ever starting out with an appreciation of America's unique and extraordinary greatness. So what you're hearing out of Washington, this just jubilant reaction, we're going to play a clip next about what happened in the House yesterday, but this is an affirmation. This impeachment is an affirmation of what the left was trying to say just in that one little tweet and in countless other venues, opportunities, and speeches. How dare some outsider show up in Washington and think he can restore America and think that he can have a role, have a place in defining America's place in history and America's place going forward. So what you saw in this impeachment was exactly that. I do want to play, we have a couple of quick clips I want to play for you. One is during the impeachment vote. I hate to play all of this, but this is a little clip of Nancy Pelosi, and the reason I want to play it is to show you that she had, in complete street theater, announced, which when I say street theater, I mean she's performing. It's not genuine, it's not real. She wore black to symbolize, said she, how somber the day was. But this is her counting votes in the impeachment vote yesterday. And I want you to watch what she had to do. She had told the Democrats to chill, to do not act excited. This is very solemn. We're very serious here. Watch what she had to do. This is Nancy Pelosi on the impeachment vote yesterday.
On this vote, the yeas are 230, the nays are 197, present is 1. Article 1 is adopted.
See?
The question,
Okay.
the question is on adoption of Article 2.
Okay, I want to interrupt and say she had to signal her team, the Democrats, because they wanted to just erupt in clapping. There are some other clips I could play. One was Rashida Tlaib could not contain her just jubilant excitement at what they had managed to do, that they had managed to get this first article of impeachment passed. I'm going to skip the rest of that clip and I want to turn to now what President Trump did. He had a rally yesterday in Michigan, and it was just this is on the day he is being impeached in the U.S. House. This is President Trump speaking at another huge rally in Battle Creek, Michigan. So I'm going to play a short clip of President Trump.
By the way, it doesn't really feel like we're being impeached, do you? The country is doing better than ever before. We did nothing wrong. And we have tremendous support in the Republican Party like we've never had before. Nobody's ever had this kind of support.
Unless you think, by the way, back to the Plouffe guy who had that tweet I showed you at the beginning of the show. I didn't have his title right in front of me. He was actually campaign manager and White House senior advisor for Barack Obama. His mindset in sending that out, I'm underscoring when he's saying this guy cannot win and his kind must never be allowed to run again. This is how the Barack Obama radical left thinks. And contrasting it with, I just got to tell you, President Trump, he just was on fire on his usual kind of rally mode, and the people were thrilled. And, this is a guy who's basically being told by the House of Representatives, we're trying to remove you from office. And it's one of the many reasons people love him. They just say, this is a guy who is going to stand up and not back down. He said very clearly many, many times, there was nothing wrong with my phone call. He said it last night. He's reminded America many, many times that what he's being impeached for, accused of doing, which he didn't do, is what Joe Biden did. And that doesn't seem to matter. But he's just right in his game, right in his mode. And to close out the first five, tell you two other quick facts that are just kind of fun to think about before we turn to a very serious next segment. One point is that during the time of this impeachment, ongoing, the House holding their hearings in two different separate committees, first the Intelligence Committee and then the Judiciary Committee. During that time, Republicans have added 600,000 new donors. And political parties watch this because obviously they reach out to the same people who donate to political parties all the time. Republicans added 600,000 new donors and raised $10 million just during the impeachment hearing. Folks, this impeachment is not playing in Peoria. It is not playing well. The American people don't like it. The Democrats are fully aware the American people don't like it. And to them, it's still worth it. And we're going to talk in the next segment about why they think it's so worth it, why they are so driven, and why we drop our guard. We must not assume, don't worry, everything's okay, because even though he got impeached, the Senate won't remove him. We must be on guard. But let me close out the first five by saying there was a great list somebody came up with of it's something like in the range of 110 different statements by Democrats in this country since the time President Trump, while he was still running for office, after he won, since he's been serving, is 100 different statements made by different Democrats about why President Trump should be impeached. And you can read these if you like. Go to my website, americacanwetalk.org. On the homepage under shows, drop down list of links. You can read these. I mentioned them just to say, again, do not be duped into thinking that President Trump was impeached because he did anything wrong in his phone call with Zelensky. He was impeached because the Democrats were going to hold on. They were determined to find some basis to say he deserved to be impeached, to find some basis to move the vote forward and assume the American people either wouldn't follow closely, wouldn't understand. And I'm telling you, folks, on the Democrat side of things, they assume, and they may be accurate, that there are millions of voters who pay so little attention to politics, to Washington, to the Judiciary Committee, to the Intelligence Committee, to the impeachment hearing, pay so little attention that they'll just assume, well, he wouldn't have gotten impeached if he hadn't done something wrong. Democrats are counting, as they do in many, many aspects of their political life, counting on the ignorance of the American people. But back to this list, I want you to take a look at it to see the many examples, highly placed, prominent Democrats who have spewed out Trump should be impeached over, and then fill in the blank, a range of completely idiotic things. And to close out again, really close out this first five, understand that the point of all this is to, the point of what I'm telling you and listing all of those, is that this impeachment has been a decision that was made by the higher-ups in the Democrat Party, by the leaders of the Democrat Party, long before President Trump was even sworn in, long before he had any interaction with Ukraine. The Democrats have been looking for a reason to impeach him. They just happened to stumble on this one. And that, my friends, is today's First Five.